Our tale of the tape is brought to you by X-Men First Class. Bring home the first summer blockbuster of the year on Blu-ray and DVD today.
Look at the style of Steve Carl, wrestling and kickboxing. He has to use that wrestling effectively. I don't think he can bang on the outside with Douglas Lima.
We now send it inside the Bellator cage to Michael Williams.
Bellator Fighting Championships on MTV2 and on Epix in HD, along with Caesars Atlantic City Routinely Spectacular, now present the quarterfinal round of the Bellator Season 5 Welterweight Tournament. Brought to you by X-Men First Class. Bring home the first summer blockbuster of the year on Blu-ray or DVD today. And now set for 3 5-minute rounds, we introduce first the red corner. At 6 foot, he weighed in at 171 pounds. His professional record, 14 wins, 2 defeats. From Belle Plaine, he fights out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Introducing Steve Carl. And across the cage, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner at 6'1", weighing in at 170 3/4 pounds. As a professional, 18 victories, 4 losses, originally from Brazil. He now fights out of Atlanta, Georgia, Douglas, the Phenom Lima. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge, Donnie Caroline.
In the quarterfinal round of the welterweight tournament, all fights are scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Elbows to the head are not allowed, neither standing nor on the ground, and there is no kicking or kneeing the head of a grounded opponent.
You ready? You ready?
Season
ready,
5
ready,
welterweight
ready,
tournament
ready,
quarterfinal
ready,
number
ready,
1. The winner through to the semifinals, the bell in round number 1. Tonight's Fight Clock is sponsored by Drive, starring Ryan Gosling, in theaters September 16th. There are no clean getaways.
We've seen in previous fights, Steve Carl likes to come forward with his hands down. I don't think that's a good idea in this fight.
Steve Carl is in the white trunks. Douglas Lima is in the gray trunks. Donnie Caroline is the referee.
If you're Douglas Lima, you want to start fast, I think. Carl's, whoa, good right hand, he's hurt
right hand. Carl looking to finish, got caught with an up kick.
Man, going hard for that heel hook. Man, he was on roller skates, so wobbly. I know he doesn't have his wits back yet.
Big reversal of fortune now as Lima takes the top position. Open guard now held by Steve Carl.
Well, Carl has solid submission skills. Will he have a chance to use them while Lima's still rocked?
Carl trying to throw from the bottom, closes guard.
Wow, looked just like a clipping right hand. Caught him on the top of the head. That's a good shot to make your balance go, and it looks like that's what happened.
Carl trying to sit up, still closing guard.
If you're Lima right now, you got to clear your head, stay tight, not give anything up. Looks like he's fighting on instinct now.
Carl throwing with the left hand. Carl walking up his closed guard.
Lima not being that aggressive here. I think he knows he was hurt. Needs to clear the cobwebs.
Lima moved with his family from his native Brazil to the United States at the age of 11. His only sport in Brazil was soccer. He wanted to be a professional soccer player, supported the great Brazilian club Flamengo, did not start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu until age 13 in the US. Big kick there from Lima.
Now Lima's back on his feet. Does he have his legs under him? That's the important part. Did he get his balance back?
Carl, a US Army veteran, stationed in both Iraq and Kuwait, just avoids that body kick. Jimmy, last season you called Steve Carl a grinder. He took exception to that, but you meant it in the best sense of the term.
No, he's a finisher. I didn't mean that he doesn't finish fights, but the way he finishes is he wears you down until you give him something. He fights with a lot of pressure. We saw that against Brett Cooper. He walked through a lot of punches, kept the pressure on Cooper. That's how he won that fight. Same with Tyler Stinson. Was caught in a vicious triangle, but able to power his way out and got the guillotine.
Spinning back kick there, somewhat half-heartedly by Carl.
There's no quit in Steve Carl. Lima still a little bit tentative. He tasted that right hand. Does not want to get caught again.
Lima now taking a backward step. Carl feigning with the right, then Lima.
Oh, good kick to scrape the chin of Steve Carl, but shows he can throw that high kick. Good trip.
It was a trip as he kicked the leg out. Carl again working from the bottom. Lima to side control.
Great job getting to side control.
Very entertaining start to Bellator Season 5 170-pound tournament.
Great back and forth action.
Steve Carl versus Douglas Lima for a place in the semifinals. There you go.
Carl doing a good job getting his guard back. Now in half butterfly guard. Thing is about Lima is he's very long-limbed. He has long legs, long arms. It's easy to leave those limbs behind and get caught in the guard if you're not careful.
Come on, work a little bit over here, guys.
That's one time he's on top in guard. It's better to have those short limbs. Very hard to catch a guy. Good pass, though, into side control.
Coolly passing the side control for Lima. Final minute now of a very entertaining round number 1. I thought Lima was going for a spinning armbar, couldn't find it. Carl now looking for an up kick. Big kick there from Lima. Carl to his feet. Carl now circling.
The problem with this pace is I think it favors Steve Carl. He's had a long layoff, about a year. It takes a while sometimes to warm up. But this pace, he's letting him get back in, and you can feel his confidence growing as it goes along.
Carl keeping his hands very low. You see Lima keeping his hands very high.
I think that opening shot by Carl made Lima back off, and Carl's able to set the pace.
Kick on the hip by Carl. Lima didn't even flinch. Chopping kick by Lima. Carl with the shot. Lima with the body lock. Good first round.
Carl unloading that right hand, hit him just above the ear, right above and behind the ear, and that's a great spot to throw someone off balance, and it looks like that's what happened. Lima got up and just wobbly legged, totally off balance. Carl went into finish, could not do it.
Round number 2 of this opening welterweight tournament quarterfinal. Jimmy, on your scorecard.
Man, so hard to score that first round. Steve Carl, of course, landed that great right hand, but Lima controlling most of the round. I gave the edge to Steve Carl just because the #1 criteria is effective striking. Had a little bit more of that.
Steve Carl is in the white trunks. Douglas Lima is in the gray trunks. The winner through to the semifinal round. The winner of this tournament claims $100,000 and a world title shot.
Yeah, but it would not surprise me if the judges went either way on that first round.
Surreal moment. Steve Carl, who you and I have known about 3 years, came over to us between rounds and said, those kicks are going to hurt in a few hours.
He said, but for right now, I'm okay. Now, we've known Steve. We've seen him fight a lot. Right now, it's Lima on top.
Jimmy, you and I did a fight with Steve Carl in Burgas, Bulgaria, March of 2009. Carl was telling us about his one-car automobile accident where he spun out on ice December of 2006. Said he had a rod in his leg. You said, when did you get the rod out? He said, no, it's still in. I keep fighting. Carl actually went a perfect 6-0 with a rod in his leg. Finally had it removed through surgery June of 2009.
You see Lima on top here, but not really able to get his ground and pound off. Not doing a ton of damage. Hard to do with those long limbs.
Carl has told us very candidly, my right leg will never be 100%. And then he talked about injuring his right thumb. He tore the tendons in training in February, broke the right thumb, and he said, I really don't have any power now.
That's an important point in this fight. How much can his body take? He's taken a lot of leg kicks already. How much can he handle?
The most scandalous team in college football is back when Spike TV's hit comedy Blue Mountain State returns for an all-new season. This team is totally worth investigating. Catch the season premiere of Blue Mountain State Wednesday, September 21st at 11 p.m. Eastern, only on Spike.
I'm surprised about what I'm seeing here. Douglas Lima winging a lot of punches, not throwing those tight, sharp combinations.
Big overhand right miss by Steve Carl. Lima, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he said, I want to keep this fight standing. Push kick by Lima.
And Lima already seemed a little bit tired.
It's amazing the evolution of mixed martial arts. How many brown and black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu want to keep a fight standing?
Yeah, they do. They know that's not good enough these days. Guys are very savvy about avoiding submissions. Even if you're a brown or black belt and getting a guy in bad position, they're hard to finish. Good left hook.
Look how low Carl is keeping his hands as he walks forward.
He always does that. I don't know how he gets away with it.
Shot by Carl, good sprawl by Lima. Carl just pulling his man forward.
That's one thing with that thumb injury he has. He says he's having trouble gripping with that left hand. Saw not really driving through on that takedown. Now going for the Kimura. Very hard to finish from half guard.
Carl fishing for the Kimura, trying to establish wrist control. Has it figure four. Hasn't cranked on Lima, at least not yet.
He's got to pull it out, get that fist beyond the hip of Lima, but Lima just passing guard here. Now Lima can step over, circle over the head, and get the armbar.
Just like that, and Carl pulls out.
Yeah, smart move by Lima, though, not committing. Didn't want to lay back and let Carl get on top of him. A lot of guys are hip to that move now.
Side control as Lima just throwing Carl's legs out of the way.
See just to our left, judging the fight for the state of New Jersey, the big dog Ricardo Almeida. I was like, what is he doing here? And he's like, oh, I'm judging. I'm one of the judges here. Not many guys know MMA as well as he does.
Always nice to have celebrity and very well-credentialed judges.
The other side, I see Jeff Blatnick, another name everybody should know. Good left hand by Lima.
Final minute now of round number 2. Carl posturing on his hip, trying to shrimp out.
Good pressure by Lima. Once again, looks like he's going back for that Kimura.
Carl reaching through, again getting the figure four on Lima.
Problem is, Kimura is one of those moves people call it a strong man's move. It's very hard to get, costs you a lot of energy if you don't get it. Really great jiu-jitsu guys I know, guys like Marcelo Garcia, say, I never go for the Kimura, it just costs too much energy.
Carl letting that go, holding half guard. Lima now staying very heavy in this top position.
See that shoulder just leaning on the cheek and chin. That's what you're supposed to do in half guard. Keep the other guys back flat, and that's what he's doing to Steve Carl. He has controlled the majority of this round.
Lima still holding top position, using body control, not taking chances. Carl holding the body lock, trying to sit up and through.
That's it, stop. We got time.
This is the Bellator debut for Douglas Lima. You see his last fight, a first-round TKO win over Terry Martin.
Are you ready? You ready?
3 wins. His last 3 fights, TKO, 2 submissions, all finishes. Let's see what he has for this third and final round.
Round number 3, welterweight tournament quarterfinal number 1. Jimmy, on your scorecard.
Right now I have it all tied up, 19 apiece. I gave that last round to Douglas Lima. Great top control. He was in charge. Oh, good left hand by Lima.
Steve Carl is in the white trunks. Douglas Lima is in the gray trunks. Lima told us the key to victory is to outwork Steve Carl.
That is very true, and that's where that layoff comes in too. You know, you haven't fought in a year. The nerves are a little bit stronger. Don't know exactly what your body can do. Lima needs to push the pace in this third round, but right now it's Carl moving forward.
Carl feinting with the jump knee.
And Carl always comes forward with no fear, hands down. Did that against Brett Cooper. Oh, I think he hurt his leg with that kick. Saw him hobble a little bit. Ate another right hand.
Carl heard you, Jimmy. He looked at us and shook his head no.
I love that Carl knows us so well. He can look over and actually help us give commentary.
Carl feinting with the right hand. Throws the right, didn't get through.
I'll take his word for it that his leg is not hurt. I just saw a little hobble there. Fighters are outstanding liars, Sean. Never forget that. Good right hand by Lima.
It's a straight right. Carl really just pulling Lima on top of him there.
I think that's a bad move for Steve Carl. Lima has been very successful on top so far. That's how he won that second round.
Lima did tell us very candidly he thought Carl was very dangerous on the ground. He said that's one of the reasons why I want to keep this fight standing. He felt he had a much bigger advantage in the stand-up.
Well, you know, that second round, he was on top in this position in half guard a lot. Really dominated that round, so I don't know why Carl will pull guard in this situation.
Carl still holding half guard.
Especially if his leg's not hurt like he told us.
Lima looking for his 7th consecutive victory and victory in his Bellator debut. The winner through to the semifinal round of this 170-pound tournament. Lima now to side control.
Carl getting back to guard after that knee on the belly attempt.
Carl again looking for the Kimura, Jimmy.
Going back again for the Kimura. Hasn't been able to get it in the last 2 rounds. Once again, it's just hard to get from half guard.
See figure fouring on the wrist. Carl trying to snatch it, but you're right, it takes so much explosive strength.
And when you open up to really crank and get pressure on it, that's when the guy steps over your guard. Hard to use from half guard. If the guy does step over, there's that possibility for the armbar. Ends up letting it go. Only has 2 minutes left. He's been losing this round.
Carl lost in the semifinal round of Bellator Season 2 welterweight tournament. First round submission defeat versus Dan Hornbuckle, May of 2010.
Via Kimura, the move he's been going for all night tonight.
Carl said he learned a lot from that fight, learned to overcome fear in the cage. Very confident entering this fight. In fairness, Lima also very confident.
A beautiful half guard pass there into side control.
Final 90 seconds now of round number 3.
Can Steve Carl get out and get something done, because it's not working on the ground for him. Full mount.
Full mount achieved now by Douglas Lima. Chest to chest. You see Carl holding him tight.
Well, that's a good way to keep the guy from sitting up and doing damage, but you're not going to get out with that.
It's playing defense.
Lima is too savvy for that.
Lima now looking for a rear naked choke.
Man, body triangle. Look at the long legs of Douglas Lima.
Nice spin by Carl.
Carl needs a finish, though. Only 58 seconds left.
Carl knee on the belly. Wants to let go with the right hand and the left hand.
Lima with those long legs, it's very hard to get past that guard. Still controlling the wrists in this position as high up as Carl is.
There's the right left. Up kick there by Lima. Carl back in.
Well, Carl needs to finish here, throwing those right hands.
Big shots now by Carl. Now it's Lima playing defense.
30 seconds left.
Will we have a finish in quarterfinal number 1?
I think Steve Carl needs one in order to win this fight. Even if he ends up on top, I don't think it's enough to take back this round.
Half guard now cinched in by Lima. Carl looking to let go with the full-on ground and pound. Closing stages of this fight. Carl still wants to throw.
Lima's got to hang on here. 7 seconds left. If he doesn't get finished, I think this is going to be Douglas Lima's fight.
More right hands by Carl. Lima keeping his opponent tight. The bell, the end of the fight.
Very close fight, obviously, but Douglas Lima, I think, finishing out strong.
When we return, we will learn the winner and see who goes through to the semifinals. Welterweight tournament quarterfinal number 1, Steve Carl versus Douglas Lima has gone the distance. Jimmy, how did you score this fight?
I scored at 29-28. Douglas Lima gave him the last 2 rounds.
To end all suspense, here again is Michael Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your judges' scorecards. Judge Ricardo Almeida scores the fight 29-28, while judges Jeff Blatnick and Carlo Urso both see the fight 30-27. All for the winner by unanimous decision. And now the first semifinalist in the welterweight tournament, Douglas the Phenom Lima.
A successful Bellator debut for Douglas Lima. Now 19 pro MMA victories, including 7 in a row. Douglas Lima is with Jimmy Smith.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Douglas Lima. I know you wanted an impressive knockout finish. Steve Carl, a very tough customer.
Very tough, man. Just like I expected, a lot of the guys here is really tough. It's no easy fight. Just got to train harder. Kind of disappointed with the performance, but I'll be back stronger.
Now, everybody wants to be where you are into the semifinal round. How does it feel to have that first victory in Bellator under your belt?
It feels good, man. That's what I came here to do. I train hard. I'm happy I got the spot, man. It's good.
Let's give it up for your first semifinalist, Douglas Lima, ladies and gentlemen.